Whether you believe in everything happening for like some reason and there being like a plan behind everything or not, or you believe in sort of there being, some kind of, say, spiritual or religious or just logical sort of outline to just how things progress and go along, or you don't if you have these beliefs, or you don't if you don't follow this way of living or not, you still need to get through every object of life and every day and everything you do. You need, your purpose, you need a motivation, and you need a fuel. And people who do believe in that, often that belief can provide those three things, but not always. Maybe it might provide just a purpose and sort of a motivation, but not always a fuel, or a fuel and a purpose, but not always a motivation. And it's definitely a weird thing, and it's a question in life that I think should be more prevalent than it is, because we all require these three things, and very many of us have sort of a somewhat grounded ideal in this and what it is and what it should be for everyone, but we don't really put effort into trying to define it and give a definitive, because even if you are adamant that there is none of the sort, still, to get through every day, you're going to need these three things. And whether they come from a belief like this or anything else, whatever they come from, you still need them, because you're not going to get through and succeed and prosper without them. If you don't have your fuel to get through, and a motivation that allows you to get through, and a purpose which you're aiming to get to, then you just can't successfully, proceed on to anything further than what you're at now. It's just you are stuck on the same level. You need these three things, and you need to act upon them and use them to step up. And we don't try and get that. And of course, as I said, religion, spiritual, logical things and beliefs do try to provide this. And I think that's why lots of people go to these things, because they provide vaguely such these three things, but not entirely. So we still are stuck searching for them, even when we feel we are given them, basically. And lots of people just settle with the sort of loosely vague, rough outlines of these three things given to them by, like, say, religion, for example, when it's not entirely what they need, or it's not the best version of it, that they could get still within the realms of being religious as their religion bounds, but not as progress needs. So honestly, I think what we just need to do is put more energy into sort of within our beliefs, and then external, just in general, sort of find out how we can best discover, and, well, it's more important to actually use them and get through than to discover them, but we can't do that without discovering them. So it seems we get kind of stuck in sort of a cycle, but then I think we must learn to sort of jewel up our actions and work at the same time, do what we need to do with that element of learning why and how we're doing it in the very actions we're doing. So that's pretty much the premise of these three things. You need to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and for what, and how you're doing it. And fuel and motivation are the ones you need in the actual act of getting there, and purpose is just why you're doing it. So definitely I think purpose comes later as you actually do it. Even if you're doing it without your motivation and without your fuel, you can still, get to a point where you're sort of aware of your own purpose. But fuel, I think, comes from day to day, which lots of people have fuel and then don't even realise it. Their motivation is definitely the trickiest one, but all three of them are, very complex and not understood at all. So I just think that is something that we need to look into in, the systems of belief and religion, and, progression we have, and also in on ourselves and our own journeys and pursuits, and how we are doing things, basically, because it's only gonna better us if we know how to do it, and how to actually work best as, functioning human, as a functioning being, working towards whatever it is we need, basically.